Good morning. Thank you, Daniel Polotsky, for being here. He is the CEO of Coinflip Bitcoin ATM. And Coinflip Bitcoin ATM allows you to buy and sell crypto with cash. And today we're going to ask him a little bit more on how he got started and his behind the scenes in the Bitcoin space. So, Daniel, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Jouell. Super grateful to be on your show.
Thank you. So the first question is, in general, how did you get into this space, and how did you get into the ATM space? What inspired your interest to launch your own machine?
Sure. So, I mean, in 2013, I first heard about, Bitcoin with it rose to the mainstream because there was a website called the Silk Road that got seized. After I heard like those news headlines, I started researching into Bitcoin, and I realized it was actually, way more than just a way to, buy drugs online or whatever. It was actually like a revolutionary cryptocurrency that could, change people's lives and hopefully end the government and the banks control over the monetary system. So I wanted to buy some, obviously, and I wanted the fastest way to do so. So no better way than a Bitcoin ATM. I actually used the first ever Bitcoin ATM in Chicago. It was in Cassava Bread. This was like the empanada place back then. It's actually not there anymore, but at the time it was. And I basically used it, but I didn't really have a good time using it. Like the bill acceptor was kind of wonky, and it just took a while to get my Bitcoin. So then I went on a website called localbitcoins.com. And basically what that was, it was just a way to meet somebody face to face. And so I met somebody face to face. I put cash on the table in like a Starbucks. She would send me the Bitcoin. And then we kind of got to talking. Even though the Bitcoin ATM I used maybe wasn't the best, the system itself was good, because if you meet too many people in a Starbucks, you're probably eventually going to get killed selling Bitcoin or buying Bitcoin.
Right.
And also it's not really scalable, because in order to do a lot of transactions, you have to meet up with a lot. You probably have to drive to 80 different places a day. It really is not a scalable process. So what better way than a safe and scalable process like an ATM?
Yeah.
So, we got to talking, and then we just kind of hit the ground running, just let's give this a shot.
Wow. Wow. And it looks like you're pretty successful. It looks like you have over 100 machines around the country. So that's very good to know. So when you kind of did that and you're like, hey, why don't I do this? This is something that can scale. What was that back end process for you? I'm sure you ran into some obstacles. How was the legal process, compliance, banking? How did you get through all of that to ensure your vision came to fruition?
Of course. I mean, right before I actually started the company, there's a guy really famous in the Bitcoin space, Charlie Shrem, was the first big guy to go to jail for AML KYC regulations in terms of Bitcoin. So I'm just all right, let's do everything we can not to end up like that. Right. So, I started researching the regulations in the States. The first thing I did, I think I just literally emailed the Illinois regulator and said, hey, what are your rules regarding Bitcoin ATMs? What is do you have any statutes? Are there any laws in place? And pretty much what we concluded at the time was that, it was fine to operate them as long as we were selling our own direct stock of Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. Then, it was time to find the correct manufacturer. I tried a bunch of different machines. I just wanted to kind of use the one that was the simplest and the easiest. Mm-hmm. That was my main goal, because I think when you use a Bitcoin ATM, you obviously want it to be convenient and quick. Right. Picked the Bitcoin ATM with the manufacturer, got it, logged into got an account with relevant exchanges, got an AML KYC policy with a lawyer, and hit the ground running from there. Obviously banking was super hard, because at the beginning it was people, the banks didn't even really know what to do with Bitcoin at that point. So they'd be oh yeah, it's just totally fine. Here's, you have an AML KYC policy, everything's great. But then later they would change their mind or have a board meeting, or who knows, what will happen behind the scenes. So banking was always a struggle. Thankfully, we've been around long enough that we have secured stable banking relationships now, and we do have a track record, and we get our AML KYC policy audited. So, it's kind of got easier as time went on, but at the beginning it was kind of rough.
Right. So you just kind of got your foot to the pavement and got to running. So with your first ATM machine, did you guys have any investors behind it, or this was kind of just your own little?
No, I mean, I had other jobs before. I went to my partner, we each put some money down, and, got the stock of Bitcoin, got one Bitcoin ATM, and just let it ride from there. Wow. No outside investors.
Wow. All right. Is there a specific amount of Bitcoin you needed to have that ATM startup?
I mean, it'd probably help to have like probably, obviously with each Bitcoin ATM, you probably need around $20,000 to $30,000 of cash to keep a stable float.
Right.
Maybe you can maybe that scales a little bit better as there are more machines. So you don't have to have as many per, but at least for the first one, I mean, I definitely needed at least $20,000 to $30,000 in addition to the ATM.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like I said, I had previous career experience. I mean, not career experience, like internships and some jobs where I was able to secure the money to make the initial investment.
Awesome. So I know that you have to have some software on this machine. Did you have to create an entire software for this project, or was there open source that helped expedite this transition and execution?
So yeah, we partner with General Bytes in Prague. They make the ATM and the software. As of now, we do have, we're pretty close with the development process there now these days, but before that wasn't the case, he had already created the system, but we've probably so far been very integral in terms of updating the system, because we can kind of see what the regulations are, what needs to be included, what our customers are seeing, what we're seeing are issues. So we've had a big hand in that since then, but at the beginning, all it took was just ordering for him.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. So how many ATMs do you guys have as of now? And on average, how much does one machine probably bring in annually, or if you can reveal that?
All right. So, I mean, we do have just under 300 Bitcoin ATMs right now. Wow. I can't really say how much they do annually, but, we do sell, it's in the, it's in the 7-8 figures. Then in terms of our total sales, wow, probably 8 figures, or sorry, probably this year in total sales will hit maybe even 9 figures. We'll see, but I don't, I can't reveal the specifics of it.
So for those who are unbanked, and there's many of those people there, if any happen to be watching, how will this ATM machine help those people specifically?
I mean, it's, people who are unbanked, they can't use Coinbase, right? They can't use any sort of system where you need to have a bank account to make an ACH transfer to purchase Bitcoin, or a wire. Because they're unbanked, they clearly need, the only currency they really use is cash. So if they want cryptocurrency, they'd be out of luck otherwise. Also, it's a good way for, if you keep most of your holdings in cash, I don't know, I've always kind of thought it's kind of scary. They can get stolen, they can get burnt and fire. We don't know what can happen with physical cash. Mm-hmm. Here, I mean, as long as the unbanked are properly educated in Bitcoin storage, which is obviously very important if they are, right, then I think it could be even safer than just holding physical bills.
Wow, that's awesome. This is very great, innovative technology for those people and that demographic. So how does your machine reach stores and businesses? Do you sell the machine, or do business owners lease them? What's the behind the scenes for that?
No, yeah, we own all of the ATMs that we operate. We pay the store owners in rent, and then we also obviously market their location. Okay. So we spend money on marketing, and then they also, because of our ATM, we probably have 150 people extra entering the store each month, and that potentially they can buy something. So it is a mutualistic relationship, and we have a very small footprint. Our ATM is probably 1.5 square feet, maybe 2 square feet. So it really doesn't take up much space.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. And when do you see, where do you see Coinflip in the next 5 years? What's your vision for that? Scaling out of the country maybe, or?
Yeah, definitely. As the U.S. maybe becomes more saturated market, we could scale out of the country. Could probably enter into, OTC trading. We could have a wallet, maybe using the Bitcoin ATM for remittance. Right. There's a lot of ways to go.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cool. And so do you have any favorite resources that you like to keep up with current events in crypto, or any cool things you want to share that you're into right now in the space?
Yeah, I mean, I usually read my 2 favorite, CoinDesk, which is it's kind of like a news site. It's actually they actually have pretty reputable articles. I actually like the research that they do. And then I obviously use Reddit, crypto Reddit and Bitcoin Reddit. I think it's always good to hear from the people directly.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that's pretty awesome. And does Coinflip do anything with the community sponsorships or college students? Are you guys engaged with that, or are you planning to be anytime soon?
Yeah, so I mean, my friend Ben, or not my friend, my friend and partner Ben and I, and then Larry and I, we just the different people in the company have taught at Northwestern University like classes on blockchain, and then we also taught at a university in Southern Illinois too for like a class. We sponsored Dance Marathon, which is like Northwestern's like annual like fundraiser dance thing, and then we donate to the Fisher House, which is a military charity.
Wow, that's very nice of you guys. Um, that's awesome. I really like this whole idea of the ATM machine. I never realized what came with it and the back end. So that was really interesting to learn.
You should come use one.
Heck yeah, I definitely would love to. I know there's one in the Bay Area, San Jose, I think I saw, in
Yeah,
Fresno.
we just put that one down in San Jose. If you're nearby, you should use it. It'll throw you a discount code.
Yeah, definitely. And if I can help spread the word, I definitely will tell everyone about it to help you guys get into
Much
more
appreciated.
things. So if there's anything else you would like to share or discuss, or any Bitcoin cool stuff that you're into outside of the ATM machines, love to learn.
Sure. I mean, I was recently reading about that whole backed thing that everyone keeps talking about, back. So now it's finally got the approval. I thought that was pretty cool. I think that like actual physical delivery of cryptocurrency and like the futures market is going to be a game changer. So right now it's all settled in dollars. Now there's going to be, from what I understand at least, there's going to be more demand for the actual product now that they're settling in Bitcoin. So great news.
That's awesome. And I have a question. What about regulations? Have you seen them tightening up, like now that the space is becoming more mainstream, and we see some people are in the House members are against it, and then we have some that are uneducated about it, and some who are saying it's an unstoppable force.
Yeah.
What have you been experiencing as you're putting more machines up? Are there any things that are like holding you guys back, or more restrictions increasing?
I mean, we definitely have to get permission from each and every state we work in, which we still haven't done thus far. I mean, we have, we have probably permission to do business in probably 40 states at this point, but we're still trying to track down the last few. There are some states that have changed the rules on us. Like I think recently Nevada just announced that all Bitcoin companies need to be registered as money transmitters. So I do see the regulations tightening, but also I do like that they're becoming more clear.
Okay.
Kind of know what to do.
Yeah, so you kind of know your way around it. Are there any bills that you would want to see passed, like as a person in this industry, in the ATM industry, that?
Well, there's just like in general as a crypto user, I remember the IRS was thinking about like if you spend crypto on something, you still have to record the loss, like the price at which you bought it and the price at which you sold it, and like take the difference and make that a taxable event.
Yeah.
And I really hope that doesn't happen, because if like you make each crypto transaction like a taxable event, like it'll disincentivize spending the currency.
Right. Okay. And so for anyone who's trying to get into maybe an ATM space, what recommendations would you have for them if they're a young kid out there listening?
Don't do it unless you want me to come for you.
Oh yeah, competition. Right?
No. I mean, honestly, it is a really hard, like I kind of was at the right place at the right time with it. I think it's really hard to get a bank these days, like if you don't have any ATMs.
Yeah.
So it is really hard to get into, but I would just say the rules are out there, get your, obey the regulations, do what you need to do, and just grind and hope that it works out. But it is really hard it is harder than when I started, let's put it that way.
Right. So are you doing any kind of like ambassador work to kind of spread this mainstream adoption?
I mean, besides, like the classes, I like the teaching and I like to give these interviews. I went to a Bitcoin meetup actually last week in St. Louis.
Oh,
Rode
wow.
the Bitcoin bus and everything, with some hashtag Litecoin fam people.
Yeah.
So, stuff like that I'll do. But, my main goal obviously is here.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Daniel, for your time and sharing this amazing information. We wish you the best of luck, you and Coinflip, and it's really amazing to see your progress and how many machines you have open now. That's amazing work that you're doing.
Much appreciated. Again, super grateful to be on your show.
Likewise. Okay.